Now in question 8 we have a question about expected value and probability, and this was the first time that there was an exam on this topic in SQA Higher Applications of Mathematics, because it was taken out of the assessment in previous years due to COVID modifications. So we have this idea of control measures. So there's this penalty that the company may have to pay, and they can avoid this penalty happening by preventing one or two of the causes of the penalty. So they figure that it could happen because a delay of the installation could be because they don't have enough parts for the chargers, or the electric cables will not be in place in time. Basically, two possible reasons. Now they've calculated for us 0.325 that one or both of delays or causes for delay happen. So question A, only a 1 mark question, very simple. Expected cost is equal to probability multiplied by the value of the cost. So 0.325 multiplied by the penalty of £75,000, an expected cost of £24,375. Now it's possible you may have something more complicated to deal with. You may have to, for example, calculate that 0.325 probability, maybe with a probability tree diagram, although in this particular question you didn't need to. So let's look on to part B. We've got the option of using control measures. So control measure 1 imports the extra parts, and that means the first reason for a delay, the shortage in parts for the chargers, that doesn't happen. So we can assume that reason for a delay will not occur, and we're only interested in the other reason, which is the electric cables not being in place in time. So the probability of that happening is 0.25. So now we've gone down from this 0.325 probability to 0.25 probability. So we must multiply the 0.25 by the cost of the delay, £75,000. And although it's not hugely clear from the question, in my opinion, you do need to add on the cost of the control measure, the £15,000. They are not giving you that information for no reason, so you would have to assume that you had to add that on. And in general, cost, expected value is the expected money coming in plus or minus the expected money going out. Here it's both potentially money going out. One certain to happen, which is the cost of the control measures. The other may happen, which is the cost of the penalty. So if you do that calculation, you will get £33,750. For part 2, very similar, but this time we are excluding the other reason for a delay. So we are excluding the cost of a delay in the cables being lain, and the only thing we're interested in is the possibility of the shortage in parts, which is the 0.1. So we take 0.1 times £75,000 and add on the cost of the second control measure, the 16,000. That will give you an expected cost of £23,500. Again, that's just a 1 mark question. You could get something more complicated if they choose to ask something like this in the exam that you do. Assuming that you are doing an exam and you're not just watching these videos for fun. So question C which control measure should they take? They've simplified it for us because they're only going to take one control measure. We don't need to look at the cost of taking both control measures. So simple question, which number is smaller? And the cost, or the expected cost, is smaller for control measure 2. And you may not strictly need to write a comparison of the two numbers to get the marks, but I think it's always good practice just to show you're not simply guessing which one, 50-50 chance which one is correct. So justify your answer. Control measure 2 is cheaper.